going on, guys? This is Jason with Jadren Aquatics. I hope you guys are having an amazing new year. It's iced here in Texas, so it's kind of cold. So I just wanted to take a few minutes to kind of talk about how we ended up 2018 and some of the plans for 2019 for Jadren's Aquatics. So you guys may remember I left on a youth ministry retreat on the previous Thursday to Sunday. That's the 27th to the 30th of December or something like that. And so had to leave my fish alone for 4 straight days. I don't ever ask my wife or my kids to take care of them because I don't really want to put that burden on them, and they can easily go that long without being fed. And my other thought is if something was to happen, they're not going to know what to do. And when I'm at camp, I basically don't have my phone, so there's really nothing I can do. So I just have to not worry about them at all. So first of all, forgive my voice. I was singing and yelling way too loud with all the youth that were out there, so I kind of blew my voice out. So my voice is a little scratchy right now, so just please bear with me. So left my fish again for those 4 days, and so don't think about it much when I'm there, but on the way home it kind of begins to, play in my mind. I hope everything's okay. It's always scary when you first grab that door and you go to open it. I did ask my wife, I said, did you check on them at all? Like, did you just peek in there? She said, yeah, I opened the door and I looked in there and everything sounded normal. And I thought, okay, well, at least that sounds good. Typically, the only thing you hear when you walk into my fish room is the bubbling sound and the fan going, because the heater doesn't make any noise whatsoever. The fan is usually the most overpowering thing. And if that stopped working, it wouldn't really matter anyway. So, but whatever. So I get home, I'm exhausted. I've obviously stayed up with these youth for 3 straight nights, not getting a lot of sleep, so I'm exhausted. So I walk out there and I open the door, lights are off. And the first thing I can tell is, first of all, there's a little bit of a weird smell. It smells like maybe some snail death, which isn't always too uncommon. Sometimes a big mystery snail will climb out, die, and smell very, very bad. So I wasn't too terribly worried about that. But the thing that worried me is the sound did not sound right. I could hear that the air pumps were on, but I couldn't hear any bubbling. So again, the lights are off. So now I'm terrified to take a flashlight and point at the tanks in fear of what may happen. So everything is going through my head. If I look through these tanks and every tank has dead stuff in every tank, am I going to quit? I mean, all these things are playing through my head. Like, what am I gonna do if all these fish are dead? So I grab the light, close my eyes, turn the lights on, open my eyes, and look at the first fish tank, and everything's swimming around. But there is no air coming out of the sponge filters whatsoever. So I go around tank to tank to tank to tank, looking at them. None of them are working, but everything appears to be fine. I don't see anything that's just obviously dead. So I'm thinking, okay, this must not have happened very long ago. I don't know exactly how long they can go without the pumps going. I haven't experienced it for more than maybe 12 or 14 hours. So I'm not 100% sure. So now I'm like trying to figure out what the heck happened. So if you guys remember that back wall that's in the fish room, that is going to be the wall that I'm going to knock down so that I can open up the other side and extend the whole thing. Well, that back wall that I have back there isn't anchored in at all. So it's really just wedged into the roof or the ceiling of the garage. So it can be pushed back and forth a little bit. And so on the other side where I was working, I would lean sheetrock and stuff against it, which would cause it to kind of move a little bit. Well, on the fish room side, I had a power strip going across the top that was butted up almost against that sheetrock and was screwed in. So apparently what happened on one of the times I was pushing on the sheetrock, it pushed on that power strip and began to loosen it from the wall. It didn't fall while I was there, but apparently it loosened it enough, because obviously I checked everything very carefully before I went and I didn't see any kind of problems. So it looks like what happened was crazy set of circumstances. This end of the power strip came unscrewed and fell, and this end didn't. So I have my PVC pipe going all the way around that carries air through it, but I also have a T that comes down with a gate valve that allows me to relieve extra pressure. Usually that thing is cut completely off because one pump was plenty, but now that I have two LPH 60s on there, I have to let a little bit of that air out so it doesn't build up too much air inside. So I turn that gate valve just enough so it blows out air out the end of it to keep the pressure where it's just right. Well, for some unknown reason, where that gate valve was, I never cemented those pipes together. When that power strip fell, it hit that T, knocked that T loose, and now air was spewing out of it. So it dropped the pressure so much that none of the sponge filters were getting any more air. So, thank goodness. Oh, you want to talk about prayers answered. I think I only ended up finding 2 dead fish total, and I don't even know if those had anything to do with the air or not. But that's all I had. Thank goodness were 2 dead bristlenose Plecostomus, I think is all that I ended up losing. And so I began to feed everything, and everything else seemed to be fine. Checked the temperatures, everything seemed to be fine. It was in the 30s while I was gone, so it was fairly cold. And then the next day I go out there, and I'm thinking it's getting a little bit chilly out here. And I look, and the heater is not even on. So I'm thinking, okay, so how long has the heater not been on? So apparently this heater, typically I use the air conditioner slash heater, and when the power goes off and it comes back on, it automatically comes back on. Well, apparently this oil-filled heater that I use is when the power goes off and it comes back on, it doesn't come back on. So that one I wish I would have known, because I would have told my wife, hey, if the electricity goes off, if the lights are blinking in there on the oven, please go out in the fish room and turn the heater back on. So 2 major disasters avoided that could have easily wiped out my entire fish room. When you do a fish room for so long, you begin to think you're like Superman, like nothing's ever going to happen. But it's a very fragile environment that doesn't take very much to cause problems. So that was my whole situation with that. So let's go ahead and move on past that, and let's talk about some funny stuff. Okay, so the Fish Nerd Wrap. First of all, if you guys have not seen it, the link is up above. This is one of the funniest, most creative things I think that I've ever done, and the funnest thing that I've ever done. I mean, it was an absolute blast making this, and the feedback that I got from this was absolutely crazy. I've never seen so many comments on a video before. There was like 260 something comments on it, and about 98.9% of them were positive. So just a blast to do. And a little spoiler alert, I'm actually working on another one, but this time I'm working on a rap battle style. I'm not going to tell you who it is, but it is a YouTuber that is much bigger than I am. So we're working on that. It takes a while to get all this done, so I can't even tell you when it's going to be out. I'd love for it to be out by the end of the month, but I don't know if that's going to happen. So depending on how this goes, I may do more of these things. They're difficult to do, but they're fun, and people seem to really like them. So, but the other thing is you've got to be able to go to that person's place and film. It's kind of too hard to piece it all together. So luckily, this YouTuber happens to live in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, so it's not too terribly far for me to drive and be able to work on it with him. So when I was on the weekend with the youth again, so my world, my youth ministry world and my fish world usually don't have hardly any crossover, because most of the people over here really don't care that I keep fish, and it never really comes up in conversation anyway. So when I made the fish wrap video, that changed everything, because multiple ones of my friends decided to share that with everyone they know. So a bunch of people were coming up to me the first day going on and on about how much they loved it, and I kind of thought that's kind of weird because you're not a fish person, but apparently it appealed to people outside of the fish world, because look, Jason's making a doofus of himself again. But most of my friends that are out there are used to that, because that's just me. That's why I do so good working around youth, because I have no problem acting goofy, and they seem to like that for some unknown reason. But what happened with that? So we're on the weekend, we're doing all sorts of cool stuff, and I'm sitting there minding my own business at my table with a bunch of youth having fun, and they decide to play the Fish Nerd video in the middle of one of the days for each and every person to see. So that was it was funny. It was a little bit embarrassing because there's a lot of people that had never seen it, a lot of people that barely even know me. And so that ended up being interesting. But the funny thing about it is I had multiple people coming up to me afterwards, like asking questions like, you know what, I'm having trouble keeping my plants alive. What would you suggest? So that's never what I expected. But the cool thing about it is I discovered a few different people that are actually a part of my organization that actually keep fish too. So that was kind of cool that happened out of it. And so I can promise you there's probably quite a few of the people out there that are watching. So hi guys. Okay, so 2019, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? What are we gonna change? So I've been debating on live streaming for a while. It's hard, it's kind of a difficult thing to do because I'm so busy as it is, and it's hard to schedule that amount of time. With doing videos like this, I have time to do them and edit them when I can fit them in. And a new thing has kind of come out where there's been multiple of the fish YouTubers that have come out and have said that their live streams are actually hurting their channel. And I know you're thinking, how can it hurt your channel? Well, everything in YouTube is based upon their everything in YouTube is based upon their algorithm. The algorithm basically determines how much they're gonna feed your video out there for people to see. How many times are they gonna allow it to be shown as a suggested video under other channels or suggested videos under your suggested videos tab. So it's a very important thing if you want your channel to grow. And I'm pretty sure that everyone that does this wants their channel to grow, or why else would you do it? Even though it is fun, but you would still like your channel to grow. So it's hurting them because typically the live streams do not get watched anywhere as much. If you go look at Corey at Aquarium Co-op and you look at the difference between a video that he puts out and a live stream video, the amount of views is incredibly different. Probably 400% more views on a regular video than his live stream video. So as of now, I don't plan on doing any type of live stream again. It's more difficult to do than I really have time anyway. And if it hurts your channel, that's not something that I really want to do. So for you guys who may have been hoping that I would do that, I apologize, but as of now, that's really not part of the plans. So Fish Room, you guys saw the update that I did just a few minutes ago. I'm getting closer and closer to getting that wall taken down and getting everything connected all up together. The biggest thing that I'm excited for this year is Aquashella. So there's gonna be 2 Aquashellas this year. There's gonna be one in March in Dallas, and there's gonna be another one in, I don't know, I think it's this summer in Chicago. So obviously the one in Dallas I'm gonna go to for sure because that's in my backyard. I'll finally be able to go to a show where I can actually buy stuff and get excited about that last day when everybody clearances out all their tanks and fish and everything else, and be able to possibly rent a U-Haul trailer to bring everything back. I hope my wife isn't watching that because she probably will not like that response. So Aquashella, I am crazy, crazy excited about it. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, search Aquashella so you can watch the video from the one last year. The thing was absolutely amazing. It was tons of freshwater and tons of saltwater. There's going to be a huge contingency of YouTubers there again. We're actually going to have a big YouTube booth set up where you guys can come and talk to any of us, and I'm sure we'll go out to eat at night and everything else. So it'll just be a really fun time. So if you guys can make it, be sure and set aside time to come to Aquashella. And then the aquatic experience will come up in, I think it's around October or November. It's going to be up in New Jersey again. I didn't go to it last year, but I think this year I'm gonna go to it. As far as the Aquashella in Chicago, I don't know yet. I obviously really wanna go to it, but when I go, my son likes to go with me. And so a trip like that is, you know, minimum $1,000 for plane tickets and Uber, renting cars, whatever you're gonna do. It gets expensive. So I need to start putting money away so that I can be able to do these things when I wanna do them. All right, that's all I have for you guys. Hope you guys are excited as I am about the new year. Looking forward to everything that's going to be coming our way this year. So excited you guys are going to be there with me. Love each and every one of you. If you guys haven't subscribed to my channel already and you actually made it this far in the video, you are absolutely awesome. Yeah, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. So be sure and subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed already. Click that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you can see when up and coming videos are. So thanks again, guys, and God bless.